Imagine having everything you ever dreamed of, the mansion, the women, the cars, the lifestyle. Now, what if I told you that in a matter of moments, I'm gonna give it all up and attempt the impossible? What's the catch? Well, I'm starting over with absolutely nothing. No money, no resources, and I'm gonna show you every single step. I bet you didn't see this coming. Welcome to my new home. All right, maybe I'm not quite taking it to this extreme, but I am scrapping my entire successful agency. And you better believe that I'll be documenting every twist and turn. Let the games begin. So what I need to do first is I'm thinking of just picking a name for my agency, and now this is like arguably like the most difficult part, but yeah, we're just gonna try and brainstorm, come up with a name for the agency and go from there. So what I'm doing now is I'm going on Shopify name generator so I can come up with a name easily, and then I don't have to really like think of what I'm actually doing. I don't want to go with like agency or management because I feel like those terms are overused now. I just want to be different, so I'm taking the route of picking consultant. I'm looking through like all these names and they're just kind of shit right now, so I might use ChatGPT. Yeah, I'm gonna use ChatGPT for this. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. These are way better, so I wouldn't recommend using Shopify name generator because kinda dead. Use ChatGPT and that's gonna come up with way better names. So I'm gonna go with the name Fan Flourish for my agency. So now the next steps is actually securing a domain, and I'm gonna try and get a .com domain for this. Google domains. Now the reason that I'm getting a domain is because I obviously want a professional email, and when we get a potential website set up, I obviously want a good solid domain. Now fanflourish.com is not available, so we might have to go with fanflourish.info. You know, if you are setting up an agency and you want a long term, I would try and go for a .com domain. I'm not going to, just for the purpose of this video. Fan Flourish. I'm gonna get Google Workspace enabled, business starter. Boom, so we've got the domain secured, fanflourish.info. This is gonna come in clutch later when we wanna set up email and when we wanna set up our workspace. So the next steps I need to take is gonna be setting up my actual business. So obviously you're not gonna make any money if you have no way of receiving payments from your clients, right? It's like building a house on sand. You wanna make sure that you've got solid foundations, otherwise it's all gonna come crumbling down. That's why I would highly recommend doing what I'm about to tell you. Now there's obviously like hundreds of different options for business banks, for payment processors. So just do your research and choose an option that sort of suits your current situation best. I would recommend, if you're in the UK especially, just setting up a business with Tide is super easy, it's free, it's like a couple clicks of some buttons, type in your information and you're pretty much good to go. That's irrelevant, lol, don't even know where. And you're also gonna get a business bank account with them as well. And then payment processors, I would recommend using Stripe, just because out of all the payment processors, I think it's the best personally, and we've never really had any issues with Stripe. So I use Stripe to this day. Pretty much once I've set up with Tide, I'm just gonna wait like 24 to 48 hours for them to email me back, and then I will have access to my business registered on Company's House and my business bank account. I'm now gonna go to Stripe and set up my payment processor. Now, for this step, because there is an OnlyFans management agency, what I would recommend so you don't get banned from Stripe for adult content and this and that, setting yourself up as a marketing agency. OnlyFans is just a niche of social media marketing. When Stripe asks to see your website, you can set up a website that strictly just mentions that you're a social media marketing agency. Don't mention the word OnlyFans, don't mention anything about adult content. That way you're not gonna have any issues with Stripe, you're good to go. And then all your invoices, you can just say marketing services or social media marketing services. The next thing I wanna do is find and set up all the software that I'm gonna need. For the purpose of this video, I'm not gonna spend the next hour showing you how to set up each thing because this would be an hour-long video. No one wants to watch an hour-long video. So I'm just gonna explain what I would do, how I would do it. And the basic software that you are going to need is Calendly. This is going to allow you to organize and schedule calls with potential and current clients. Zoom, this is obviously going to be linked to your Calendly, and that's going to be the place that you actually host your meetings with potential and current clients. Then you're going to want to use Typeform. Typeform is an online platform that allows users to create and customize surveys, forms, quizzes with a user-friendly interface and an engaging design. Now I'm going to be using this platform to create an onboarding form for my clients, and that's going to include following information like the client name, image, photo of their ID or license or passport, picture of a bank statement that's dated within the last 3 months, all their account passwords and usernames and emails for their OnlyFans account, like the social media account, and then I'll give the client the option, if there's anything else that you need, let us know, blah blah blah, and they can write you in that box, right? Just to make onboarding smooth as possible, to where I'm not messaging them and annoying them and plaguing them with annoying texts and emails saying, can we have this password, can we have that, can we have this, can we have that? It's all just done in one place. The form's got everything I need on it. Now the next software I'm going to set up is Inflow. Inflow is pretty much the most essential software in this business. It enables you to have all of your clients' OnlyFans accounts logged in from one location, and Inflow is pretty much a CRM, right? It's a client relations manager. You can manage chatters' shifts on there. You can see more in-depth analytics. It's pretty much a must-have if you run an OnlyFans agency. Then I'm going to create a Loom account, and I'm going to be using Loom specifically to save time rather than jumping on calls with my clients all the time. I'm going to send them weekly updates through Loom, and what Loom is, it's like a screen recording software, and you can share videos with your staff or with your clients, and like I said, it saves that time of calls, right? And you can also do training on Loom, so like I could make a series of training videos to train my chatters, and I can send them the Looms so then they can watch over them and learn from them like that. Next, I'm going to set up PandaDocs. PandaDocs is literally just a digital signature platform. So this is where I'm going to be like hosting the contract. So when I'm on the sales call with them, what I'm going to do is send them the contract on the call, and then they're going to sign in. I'm going to use PandaDocs to actually send that and go through that process. Next, I'm going to get my WhatsApp number set up, just because we're going to be doing all our client communications on WhatsApp. I've tried all these other platforms like Agency Flow and Slack and this and that, but it's almost like they're a bit too professional and a bit too difficult to use for a lot of these OnlyFans models that are non-native to these platforms. You have to think a lot of these models don't have much business acumen, and you want to make it as easy as possible for them. If they have to use their phone or their laptop to log into Slack every day or Agency Flow to see the messages you're sending, the replies are going to be terrible because they can't be asked to have it. You want to integrate it into their life as easy as possible, and WhatsApp does that best because most people out there have WhatsApp. I think it has like 2 billion users. And then finally, I'm going to set up my Google Workspace. I'm going to be using it for the documents I create. I'm going to be using it for sheets to track stuff. I'm going to be using it for forms, for like chatting, onboarding forms. I'm going to be using it for Drive, for like content and this kind of thing. Google Workspace is going to be super key, which is why when I showed you the setup at the start, this is why I enabled the business starter, so I could have access to a good Google Workspace, and I could share it with people a lot easier. So the next step is going to be branding. Branding is going to play potentially one of the most significant roles in the success of this new agency that I'm starting. It's going to be crucial to actually curate and present this new agency in a style that appears attractive towards my target audience or my ideal client, right? So there's several approaches that I can really take when I'm thinking of designing my brand. I think it's going to be important to consider like how can I portray my agency's sort of unique identity and core values and goals, and then defining my ideal client. Who is my target audience? That's something that a lot of people miss, is they don't build their ideal client and they just go after every single model that they see. And building out my client avatar and creating that is going to be key to understanding my target audience, and it's going to be key to actually developing a branding strategy that actually works. There's kind of 3 routes I can go down, right? I can either create a brand around a guy, make him look like a successful entrepreneur that makes girls a lot of money, which is kind of the brand that I have, or I can go down the route of finding a model or finding a girl that's going to fit the brand and she can be the face of the agency, or I can just go down the route of just branding it as an agency, no face behind it. Now I'm obviously going to need to develop a logo next and sort of find a visual identity that aligns with my agency's values and sort of speaks to the audience. And I'm quite a creative type, so I'll just design the logo myself. I would usually just outsource this, but I'm just going to show you guys, for those that don't have any budget, how you can do this for completely free and get set up without any fees. So I'm just going to create the logo on Canva, and we'll refine and make stuff better over this series. But for now, I just want to show you how you can just take massive action, get started, and just have no excuses. This is a little brand strategy I designed with Fan Flourish. It's positioned as a premium OnlyFans management agency that leverages unique growth strategies to elevate content creators' careers, helping them to reach their full potential. We are trying to strive for long-term growth, and to do that, we want to build the next influencers, right? Target audience, obviously aspiring and existing OnlyFans creators seeking professional assistance in brand management, growth, and maximization of income. And our brand promise to facilitate growth, elevate personal brands, and maximize income for content creators. Logo is going to be a simple logo where there's a stylized F that mimics the growth of a flourishing plant or a vine. The color palette, we've got royal blue, gold, and white. Obviously use the reasons for them. And then typography, these are the types of text that we're going to look for in particular. Yeah, so we've actually found some decent ones, to be fair. as like a sort of template, and then, oh boys, we've hit the jackpot. This is the one. That's a good one. Right, let's go to our brand palette. Let's see what this brand palette actually looks like first. Fuck, they're both decent as well. That's the issue. So the next part for me now is going to be setting up my agency's front-facing socials, like my Instagram page, and making sure that looks good. So I'm going to go to Swapped, and I'm going to go to some other places, look around, try and find a good Instagram page that I can buy, and then sort of rebrand into my own unique thing. Or I might go down the route of finding a model, finding a girl, or finding a guy that I can use their brand to get my models and get sort of a flying start, rather than going through all the setup myself. So I'm going to try and see what I can do. I'm going to look at some options. I'm going to keep you guys updated. So I'm in a position where right now, for this challenge, I've got no resources and I'm starting from scratch. So my main goal is to like build up my attractive character, to start building my brand around this agency, and to start like really separating myself from all these other agencies that just have Instagram profiles with tons of content of women on there, right? That used to kind of work, like having a model theme page and outreaching influencers, and it still kind of works. You know, you can get some low quality models, you might strike lucky and get some decent models now and again, but I don't like to really base my business based off like luck, and I'd rather base it off like hard statistics and probability, right? But obviously it's got to a point where like I need to start building this brand and creating a mass movement around that brand, and then finding an attractive character for that brand, whether I use myself as the attractive character, or whether I find someone to be the attractive character, or whether I just build the attractive character around the brand itself. That's something that I could obviously do long term. Now, depending on how this challenge series does, depends how much effort I'm actually going to put into this secondary agency, because I've got goals to scale my own agency to $1 million a month, and me doing this is just distracting me from my actual goal. But I want to do this for you guys to show you how you can set an agency up with little to no resources. So what I've done to shortcut that process, obviously I've got nothing, you know, I haven't got a brand, I haven't got an Instagram, I'm a nobody. To shortcut that process, what I've done is, instead of building up my brand and taking the next 3 to 6 months to really get some movement and to start getting some inbound leads and to start building my attractive character and creating my mass movement around that attractive character, what I've done instead is I'm taking a shortcut, because I've got that knowledge, right? I've got that information. And that shortcut, what I've done is I've reached out to influencers to leverage their influence to get me models and clients from agencies. I've just literally created a random Instagram, and I've just been reaching out to influencers, propositioning them with deals. I've been emailing them from my Fan Flourish email, so it looks professional. And I've actually had a response back on my email from a model. I've managed to get her to want to jump on a call with me. I'm going to proposition her to recruit models for me, and I'm going to give her 5% net monthly earnings forever, as long as that model signs and stays with me. I'm going to give her 5% of the earnings, and then if she also wants to promote the model, then I'm going to give her an extra 5% of those monthly net earnings. So let's just say she brings a model my way that's making 10k a month. She's going to get 5% of the profits I make that model forever, until that model decides to leave or we part ways for whatever reason. So, you know, if I scale it to 100k, she's going to be making good money, right? So this affiliate deal that I'm propositioning this influencer with is beneficial to them, because they might already have contacts, they might already know models, they might already know people looking for agencies. I've just got to show I'm an authority in this space with my knowledge on this call with them, and sell them into the idea of why they should work with me and how it's going to benefit them and how it's actually going to benefit the model. So the people that they bring, not going to fall back on them to where they're like, you suggested this agency and they've done shit. So I've got to assure them that I know what I'm doing, and that I can actually scale these models, right? So yeah, pretty much the play is just forming strategic partnerships with influencers, right? It's pretty easy to do. Email them, Instagram message them. Obviously, the better your Instagram, the higher response rate you're gonna have. But if you've got a shit Instagram, then just drop them an email, right? Because a lot of these influencers have their emails in their bio, or somewhere on their Instagram profile. And obviously, I had success with an email, right? So that's something I would highly suggest doing. If you are struggling to find clients, if you are struggling to just do outreach, and you're struggling to maybe do some paid acquisition methods like SEO and all these other different client acquisition methods that are slightly more advanced, and obviously the best one being building your attractive character and creating the mass movement around that attractive character. Obviously, if that's something that's out of reach or that you don't want to do because you're lazy, then like I said, the easiest way is forming strategic partnerships with influencers to bring you clients. And yeah, maybe if there's clients that she brings me that she potentially wants to promote as well, then there's an extra 5% there, right? Now, a key thing for this is I'm looking for people with high male dominated audience. I'm either looking for like influencers, like girls, like model influencers that are already in this space, maybe not have OnlyFans, but you know, they're model, they're on Instagram. Or I'm looking for like people that not only have a lot of male fans, but people that also if they did a collab with an OF girl or made content with an OF girl as a promotion, it wouldn't seem out of place, and you could do it in a smart way. So I'm not just picking any influencer. I'm looking for, like I said, strategic partners that can not only find me clients for that 5% fee, but can also promote them. And that's gonna get me traffic. It's gonna make my model money. It's gonna make them more money. And obviously with the strategic partnerships, when it comes to the promoting side, you can obviously negotiate. Like I'm gonna start on 5%, and depending on the influencer, depending on the size, depending on the traffic, then I can always go up, right? Like I'm willing to give an extra 5%. So someone, you know, if someone brings me a client and promotes them, I'm willing to give 15% to them if that's what they're gonna do, the promotion does well, it makes sense, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm gonna jump on this call, and then hopefully this person can bring me my first client, and we'll go from there. So right now I'm about to jump on this call with this influencer to try and form some sort of strategic partnership to where they can bring me clients. I will report back at the end whether we close our first strategic partnership deal or not. I got high hopes. I've done this plenty of times. I think I'm gonna be good. But yeah, I'll report back. Right.
Sometimes because I'm more like I think I've ever had it like 3 or 4 times in my whole career where someone is like rude, and I have one today saying, let me see your cunt swat, and I'm like, oh my god, no one actually ever gonna eat pizza now.
Okay, right. Wow. Successful. That was a good call. So we've got our first strategic partner. She was sick. She was like super cool. Yeah, she was very nice. We got on very well. That was a 50-minute call. And yeah, just from the nature of that call, when I was speaking to her, she was saying that there's obviously a lot of girls that she knows that need agencies, and she speaks to a lot of girls in the industry. So it should be pretty easy for her to find me my first client. I told her that the criteria, if she can, is to find me clients making minimum 5K a month, just because I don't want to put that work in of taking a model from zero and no experience, never done OnlyFans, no content, nothing, to like wherever it is that I want to take it from, just because there's so much work that goes into building up a brand new model. It's better to have that little bit of experience. And I've just found, like with my agency over the last nearly 3 years now, the best point is between that 5 to 20K a month. Anywhere between 5 and 20K a month is like our perfect client avatar. Any more, any less, it just becomes difficult. Any more, you start to decrease percentages and all these other kind of stuff that you have to look into. And any less, it's just difficult to work with. They potentially don't have the knowledge, the experience. The growth just isn't as good. Like the sweet spot is 5 to 20K a month, at least for us. And we've built all our systems and processes around signing models that are making 5 to 20K a month and are within a certain age range and a certain demographic, so we know that we can deliver time on time again. Because the issue is a lot of people will try and sign models from all over the world. They'll try and sign models for all different ages, all different incomes. They just want to get anything they can. Like any model they can sign, they'll sign just because it's a client and they can say they've signed a model. But that's not how you build a long-term sustainable business in this industry. You need to be able to build systems and processes around your clients. You can always deliver and guarantee results. So like, for example, we are not gonna sign a model from Canada that's making nothing because she's really good looking and she has a good social media. It's too much effort for us. We don't wanna start to build new systems and processes around here from Canada because it's likely that there's a lot of stuff, there's gonna be a lot of differences, right? So our main client avatar is UK models, 18 to 24, right? If we just focused our time and energy on signing models that are within our client avatar, we could do a lot better, we can move a lot faster, we can scale a lot further. And that's a big thing. People spread themselves too thin. They'll take anything when they're beginning. They'll have a model from the US that's making $1,000 a month. They'll have a model from the UK that's making nothing, that's just starting out. And they'll have a model in Europe somewhere that's making like $500. And they'll try and manage these 3 models and they'll wonder why they're not getting anywhere. Firstly, time zones is an issue. Secondly, marketing is going to be the next issue because it's going to be a different in demographics in terms of if you're in TikTok, you've got to start looking at proxies and VPNs, and then proxies are very unreliable and it takes a lot more these days to mimic an overseas connection. So there's a lot of different things you've got to start looking into, and then you can't build any real systems and processes around your clients and around your marketing and around your service delivery because you spread yourself too thin and you don't know what's working. You can't get good at one thing because you just spread way too far. So you need to pick your client avatar and pick wisely, because then you can start to build systems and processes that work. Therefore, your service delivery is going to be better. Therefore, you're going to get more referrals, more clients, and you're going to be able to get good results. And in turn, you're going to make way more money, and you're going to be able to actually figure out strategies that work for that specific client avatar. You know, I can't tell you how to get to $1 million a month, but I'm at 400 grand a month and I can tell you how to get to 400 grand a month. And what I did is pick one client avatar, get really good at working with that one client avatar and just mastering the service delivery for that specific client. And then that's how we've been able to scale to 400k a month. Now, maybe to get to 1 million, because we've mastered that client avatar, we're gonna have to scale our team, and then we're gonna have to pick a client avatar that's in the USA. And we're gonna have to start building systems and processes around our service delivery for USA models. And maybe that's how we get to 1 million a month. But I'm not there yet, so I can't tell you what to do. Like I said, I can only show you how I'm being able to get to 400 grand a month. And I can't show you anything else because I've not done it myself. I'm still learning. I'm still in the space. I'm still figuring shit out myself. I'm not perfect. This is after 3 years. So, you know, at the end of the day, everyone's different. Everyone's situation is different. But this is what works for me and works for hundreds of my students. So just take my advice and don't just sign any random client that comes your way. Pick your client avatar and make sure it's a good one and make sure you pick correctly. I'm gonna leave my client avatar template sheet below in the description for completely free. You can literally go in the description. It'll be the first link in the description. You'll see client avatar sheet. It's literally gonna be a Google Doc and you can fill that out and decide on what your client avatar is gonna be. It's the exact template that I use for my agency to pick out client avatar. Go and get that. It's completely free, no strings attached, literally just a free download. Go and get that in the description, fill it out, and then you'll know your client avatar. And then any other models that come your way, don't get shiny object syndrome because they're making money or because they got a big following or because they're a certain way. Trust me, just focus and just go all in on your client avatar. And I promise you, if you do that for the next 6 to 12 months, you will be more successful than you could have ever imagined. And I promise you that shiny object syndrome when it comes to different clients and just seeking every opportunity is not the way to build a long-term sustainable business that makes you a lot of money. And I know that will help a lot of you massively because I've seen the results in my mentorship programs of people who have filled their client avatar sheet out, and in the first 3 months they're starting to get good clients, they're starting to get good results, and they're wondering why. And it's all because they've picked and stuck with that client avatar and they haven't got shiny object syndrome of just signing any model that comes their way. I promise that's a massive mistake that beginners make. And if you've got coaches and mentors out there just telling you to sign any client, they either don't know what they're doing or they're not going to be in this industry for a long time. And that's just the reality. I've even had multiple students now hit that 100k a month mark, which is literally insane because I did not imagine by any means that when I started coaching people and mentoring people, what I had done, I did not by any means think this early on in my journey of coaching and mentoring that I'd have students hitting the milestones they're hitting. But they are, the proof's in the pudding, and it's amazing to see, and it just motivates me even more to give as much value as possible. So I'll probably check in a couple of days when I get a client. So I just completely forgot that I got a sales call. And I obviously need to get on for it because I literally have not taken a sales call in like well over a year at this point for my agency. But obviously we've started brand new. It's just me, no resources. So we're gonna go close this sale. Nice 50% contract. I think she's already making around 4k a month. So, you know, we'll easily be able to scale that. And yeah, fan flourish to the top. Let's go. Right, boys, we're about to jump on a sales call with the first potential client of the new agency, Fan Flourish. So let's see how it goes. We're gonna just do it over WhatsApp, nice and simple. And I've already done quite a lot of fact finding in the DMs, and I've pretty much kind of pre-sold on the DMs. So it's more just like, you know, getting to know her, asking a couple more questions, making sure we're a good fit, and then obviously signing the contract, and just go like that. Watch this shit, watch this sign. First client for Fan Flourish, watch this sign. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, okay, thank you.
How do I pronounce your name before we start the call? Because I think I know how to pronounce it, but I don't want to just like call you the wrong name the entire call.
No,
Okay, just to give you some clarity on how these calls usually go, like I'm just gonna pretty much, obviously I've asked you a lot of questions already. I kind of know where you're at. It's just gonna be just kind of going over that again, just making sure everything makes sense. It's pretty much just determining to see whether we're like gonna be a good fit for each other. And that's like pretty much how it's gonna go. Does that sound good?
yeah, that sounds good, yes.
Is there like any like sort of, how do I put it? Like, is there any barrier that you were not comfortable going past? So like, for example, like some people are happy to do boy, girl, girl, girl. Some people just do solo. Some people just only do like just the basic nude stuff. Like where are your sort of limits?
Like, I don't really have many limits, really. I would do like stuff by myself or stuff with a boy. I wouldn't do stuff with a girl, probably not. Unless it was just like lingerie pics together or like
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do anything with a girl.
We are like a full service management agency, so we literally take care of everything from managing your account, which means you will have your own dedicated account manager, which is going to take care of managing, categorizing your content, you know, like PPV, custom, feed posts, all that kind of stuff, you know, setting subscription prices, you know, just optimizing the overall account. And then that's all you need to do is share the content with us, and we'll obviously manage the posting, the captions, maximizing the income. And then obviously the main thing is we want to build you into an influencer. We want to grow your fan base. And obviously in order to grow a financially successful account, it's going to be important that we focus on gaining new fans, but also keep your old current fans happy and subscribing. And obviously we have a lot of proven strategies that we're able to do that. You know, we're going to provide you with TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, dating apps, all these like different strategies, which we'll get into. And that's going to obviously help maximize your organic social performance. And like I said, we're going to assist you with content creation and all that good stuff. And then obviously lastly, we're going to manage your messaging. And as you already know, like the messaging function, maybe you don't already know, but the messaging function is where you're going to earn the majority of your income. And obviously when we're managing a creator's direct messages, we're looking to build genuine connections. I generally believe that we have like one of the best chatting teams like in the UK by a mile. They're all in-house. They're all in an office. We're not hiring $3 Filipinos like the rest of these other bullshit agencies. Like we really go all in on chatting because we understand that's where the majority of money is going to be made. So why don't we get really good at this aspect of things? So obviously you're going to work with our chatting team. We'll brief you through the chatting strategies, and obviously that's sort of how we're going to maximize your earnings. So does that sound good so far?
Yeah, it does, yeah. With the percentage, how much is it?
So we take 50%. And like I said, that's just to cover everything, and we never take lower than 50%, just because like at the end of the day, not to sound like I said like a twat, but we understand that our services in comparison to all these other bullshit agencies are well worth the percentage considering what we offer. Obviously we got a team of 50 people, we pay our staff, and it's a pretty big operation at this point, so it doesn't make sense for us to take less.
Yeah, no, that's fine, that does make sense, that's fine. Do you think at the moment, obviously after the percentage, do you think I'll be taking home like less than what I am at the moment?
No, it shouldn't work out like that at all. You know, for the first, like I said, it'll be interesting to see with this month period. Like I said, you can literally opt out and leave whenever you want. So like if after the first week you're not happy, then you can literally just hit me up and say, Dylan, like fuck you, your agency sucks. Like I hate you all. Like I'm leaving. Like you could literally do that, and I'd be like, yeah, no worries, it's fine, I understand, and we could go our separate ways. But like, yeah, like it's pretty much like I said, it'll be interesting to see because it's always different. It's always different with each model. But there shouldn't be a scenario where you're taking home less. Like worst case scenario is you're taking home the same amount you're taking home now for like the first couple of weeks maybe.
Going forward, did you say there's like a contract?
Yeah. I'll send it over to is the email you sent me good to send that to?
Yeah, let me just check it. Yeah, that's the right email, yeah. Okay, lovely. I've just read that now and signed it.
Right, sweet. Okay, great. Just be active tonight if you want to get started tonight, but if you want to just chill for the rest of the night, just drop me a message tomorrow, and we can get started tomorrow.
Thank you so much, and I'll let you know if I've got any other questions or anything.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, nice meeting you, and like I said, I look forward to working with you, and yeah, let's make some money, let's crush it.
Yeah, literally. But thank you, have a nice evening.
Yeah, you too. Bye. That's how you close a deal, guys. So, first client for the Fan Flourish tester agency. As you can see, we have got a signed terms of agreement right here. No cap, no cap. Pretty easy, do you know what I mean? If you want access to that full unfiltered version of that sales call for completely free, then go to my Instagram at DylanOFM and drop me a message saying something like sales call, and I'll send you the Google Drive link with the full sales call just so you can see how I navigate that entire process and close a 5K deal. And I'll also give you the sales script that I used on the call as well. Why not? I just want to give you guys as much free value as possible, no strings attached. I just didn't want to drop the entire sales call in this YouTube video because it would have been super long. So if you want to go and see that, just drop me a DM at DylanOFM and drop me something like sales call, or I want to see the sales call wherever, just so I know to send you the Google Drive. Yeah, other than that, if you found this video helpful and you want to see me keep this series going and you want to see a part 2 of this challenge series, then just drop a like and a comment down below so I know to keep this series going and I can keep building this Fan Flourish agency. But other than that, hope you're all having a blessed day and see you at the top.